analyzing and taking a close look at two poems by Gwendolyn Brooks. The first one is known as Riot, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It is a riot of African Americans against the common white man, which you'll see more about later, which is a really nice poem. And the other one is known as We Real Cool, and it is about pool players in a club, and they're kids and they're underage. And so we're gonna analyze those two. So without further ado, let's go. Okay, so for Riot, we're gonna be looking at tone, author background, and imagery. So at the top, we see a quote by Martin Luther King. That's huge. More, she's part of the civil rights movement. So even more proof than the research I already did. So let's start with the first paragraph. So John Cabot out of Wilma, once a Wyncliffe, all white rose below his golden hair. So take note of the word golden hair. They use imagery like golden hair and ripe linen and rich wool, stuff like that throughout this entire part. The first part, until we hit the line, because the Negroes are coming down the street, the tone is very whimsical and light, not a care in the world, just small things. But then once we hit that, it starts getting darker and darker, and the imagery is very luxurious and starts getting dirtier and dirtier. So take note of that. That's the important part of this. Once we hit here, we have a complete contrast turnaround. It's the poor were sweaty, unpretty, right? So it's getting darker and darker. In C's windsweep, they were black and loud and not discreet, right? So the imagery is definitely getting darker. Well, not necessarily darker, it's getting dirtier, which is why I think that John Cabot represents the white man who sees the blacks as dirty, filthy, and below him. So when he sees all of them coming together, he all he sees is filth. And as we move on, gross, que tu es grossier, it's instantly beneath his nourished white, that told his story of glory to the world. So yeah, obviously just reinforcing what I said earlier, he symbolizes the white man. And as we go on, he gets more and more scared from each paragraph after this line. After every part after this line. So yeah, so I think that this is basically showing that he fears the black man, the black body as they come together. He starts praying and stuff over here. So so the theme that I want to say is that the white man the white man will fear the black body if they come together and fight him together. If they fight together against him. So that's the theme. And the author background supports it. The tone, he gets more scared and scared and scared. The tone gets darker. And the imagery, he sees it getting dirty and dirty, dirty, and it's just he sees them coming together and he's scared of them. So yeah, that's right. Okay, so this one is We Real Cool, and you can't even think about looking at this poem without analyzing the sound elements. This poem is more like a song than anything. So every time, every almost sentence within each line, it starts with a high note, a middle note, and a low note. So we real cool. We left school. So it almost sounds like a song. And we can see that it's definitely at some sort of jazz club, 7 at the Golden Shovel, which ties into, you guessed it, author background. That's right. Gwendolyn Brooks grew up in Chicago. Even though she was born in Kansas or something, she actually grew up in Chicago, and she considers herself part of Chicago. So that was a huge jazz capital, not capital, but it was a huge place for jazz at the time. So that definitely ties into this. So it almost is a jazz song. And the people in the play who are the pool players, 7 at the Golden Shovel, the pool players, they want you to think that it's a song. It's we real cool, we left school, we lurk late. So the sound elements are there to make the life seem like it's a happy life. We do this thing, we lurk late, we thinjin, jazz june. Oh, there's another jazz word, right? Is tying into the author background more. So that's definitely what the sound elements are there for. The tone is surprisingly happy, even though the subject material is bad. I'm going to read through the whole thing just once. So we real cool. We left school. We lurk late. We strike straight. We sing sin. We thin gin. We jazz June. And we die soon. So, it's definitely not something happy considering, we die soon. They're just, sinning and like partying all the time. So like the way that is presented in the song makes it seem like it's a very luxurious lifestyle, but it's really not. So that's the theme statement I'm going to make. So the pool players are trying to make a more happy, like, they want to make their life seem like a happy, like, always going on party jazz song out of their pretty terrible life, I would consider. But yeah, so that ties in everything.